Whoa,
Really?
wait. Back up. Who has ties with the Yakuza?
Dan Lok and his people. They were saying that live during the classes, live.
They were telling
tried
you
to-
guys they have ties with
Yes.
the Yakuza. Dan Lok knew you were homeless during this
Yes.
thing. And
Yes.
his course, you're saying, is what made you homeless.
Yes. And he was still going after me. At some point, I was walking and I started feeling some pain in my feet. As soon as I could, I removed my shoes, removed my socks, and realized actually my feet were bleeding.
What about the HTC family? The HTC family didn't help you out?
There's no family.
I hear you have quite the story for us.
Yes. I'm an inspirational speaker, and by background, I am a civil engineer. And all the crazy story start many years ago when on a cold night of December, I was just browsing online on my laptop, and I came across an ad saying, learning this new high-income skill will allow you to earn six-figure income working from anywhere in the world, only using a laptop and a phone and managing your own schedule. Register for the webinar to learn more. So I thought this could be a great opportunity. So as I attended the webinar, I said to myself, this is definitely a great opportunity. Now, I was very excited. I wanted to join the program right then and there. But just like most of people, I was facing the most common issue. I just didn't have enough money to afford the program. And I was working as a civil engineer. But all my money was going into my apartment. I had a nice car, a nice lifestyle. So I thought to myself, I would just have to cut some expenses for a few months so I can afford the program, which was eating at home all the time, so no more restaurants. And I was driving a very nice red Mazda RX-8. I had to park my car, no more gas, no more insurance. I was walking every day to work or taking the bus.
Oh my God. Wow. That's a heavy sacrifice. Wow. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes. And with my car, it will maybe take me 10 minutes to get to work. The bus will take maybe an hour. Or sometimes I was just walking. And a few times I will be walking and some coworkers will drive past me and give me that smile, almost a laugh. Like, how come he cannot afford his car anymore?
Right.
But I knew I was investing in myself, or I thought I was investing in myself.
Sure.
So I didn't even waste my time explaining to them. And now at my job, just like all of us, I had that one coworker I was more close to than other people. And I will go to him, talking to him about what I'm working on. And I talked to him about high ticket closing. He went home, talked to his wife, and came back to me the next morning and said, this is not a great opportunity. You are wasting your time and you will waste your money. But I said, no, you do not understand. Daniel, this is a great opportunity. And I'll probably leave my job anytime soon. I was so stupid. So after a few months of cutting some expenses, I was now able to invest into this program on a payment plan.
How much did the total cost of the thing cost? How much was it total?
It was a lot of money. I lost over 20K. First, you have to pay like around $3,000 for the first part of the program.
Yeah.
Then they have an inner circle. Then they have the event in Vancouver. You have to fly to that place.
Closers in black.
Exactly. And then after that, they have created a program separate that is called, what's the name?
High Ticket Millionaire.
High Ticket Millionaire. And that was the worst part ever. Let me just get to that. So now I was able to afford this program. And I paid for the program. I joined the program. And every single thing was well designed. Nothing was left to chance. everything looked perfect. Every single time before a session, I will have my notebook ready, a pen, a glass of water, no distraction for 4 hours. Every single time. The program was 7 weeks long. And during the program, they told us that we have to be fully committed to this opportunity to make it work. So listen very carefully to the following. People gave up university. People gave up college. People gave up their job just for this opportunity because they told us that we could earn six-figure income from this opportunity. At some point, I did the same. It was just the worst decision ever. I left my job. I thought this will work. And it was also my fault. I didn't make the right decision. Now, after the 7 weeks, it was now time to go out there and to try out what we just learned. The worst part, by that time, they have collected thousands of testimonials from us. We didn't even try out that skill to understand, to know whether it works or not.
Wait,
but
so they captured, let's be clear here. They captured your testimony. They got you to say how great the program is before you got to test out the program. It's really important.
Yes.
So you're probably somewhere on Dan Lok's page saying how great Dan Lok is.
Yes. We were not even thinking about it. It's just crazy. So now it was time to go out there and to test the program. And they had many seasons. First season, they get them to the 7 weeks, they graduate, and then they have the next season. After the first season, they clearly realized that this was not working.
Right.
People were going to the marketplace, but it was just not working. They could have fixed the issue by listening, but they decided not to. During the program, during the classes, they were telling some people who were trying to speak out because it was not working, that they have some ties with the Yakuza, treating people.
Whoa, wait. Slow down. Back up. Who has ties with the Yakuza?
Dan Lok and his people. They were saying that live during the classes, live.
They were telling you guys they have ties with the Yakuza. So don't mess with them, basically? Or is that what they're saying?
That's what they think. So they were threatening people live during the classes. And telling people, even if we kick you out of the program and do not give you back your money, who cares anyway? And that's the part that changed everything for me in regard to those people.
That's horrible.
Because it is not because you think that you are above others that you have to mistreat them. Wow. That does not work. It goes against my values and principles. It just does not work. And here is another part. At the beginning, I even thought I wanted to work for him. Then I realized during my life, I had some very nice job, from working with a Canadian government to having an internship with the United Nations when I was 18 or 19. So I have worked at great places. Then I realized that this guy is just an emperor. He thinks no one should speak to him. People should just execute.
He thinks he's an emperor. He's not an emperor, but he thinks he's one.
He thinks. So it was now time at the end of the program to go out there and to test what we have learned from him. During the first 3 months, nothing. 6 months, nothing. And I remember sitting there in my apartment, also upset at myself. How did I make that decision? I was not thinking. I was so upset at myself. I have never been so upset. I was punching the wall. I was really, really upset. So now, after a few months, I couldn't even afford my rent anymore. And
because at this point, you've quit your job. You're trying to sell, but the sales aren't coming in like Dan said they would.
It was not working. Nothing. And the weird part is only recently we realized just from the news that at some point he couldn't afford his rent himself. And he always said he owned that house of 35 million. And we just realized the house first is only 13 millions, and he never owned that place. He was renting. And at some point couldn't even afford to pay the rent. So whatever you do to others, whatever you put out will always come back to you.
Of course.
Always.
Of course.
That's the first lesson. So at that point, I couldn't even afford my rent anymore. So I was now spending some time at some people and new places. Few weeks here, few weeks there.
You were crashing with friends or what?
Exactly.
Wow.
With friends. And when you spend times at some people, after a moment, you have nowhere to go. And I remember on that night, I was now without a roof. I was without a roof for 4 months in Montreal, and it is cold. It is very cold. I remember on that first night, I was spending some time at a public place. And they closed that place at midnight or 1 a.m. It was not time to close. And the security guy came up to us asking us to leave. As I stood up, I was walking to the door. Believe it or not, I actually remembered that I have nowhere to go. So I walked back and I had a seat again. And somehow they only realized that I was still there around 3 a.m. The security guy came back. He was very upset. He said, we closed 2 hours ago. You were supposed to be gone. You have to leave right now. I stood up. I was now half asleep. I walked to the door, came out. It was very cold. It was December already. I look on my right. I look on my left. Finally, I just start walking on my right. Then I stop, look back, and went finally on my left. As I was walking, I saw this big yellow sign of a 24/7 fast food restaurant. It was a McDonald's. I was so happy. So I got in and I ordered myself a meal. At that point, I have had so many tears. I thought I was screwed. And I can think, but I just couldn't find any possible way to get myself out of that situation.
Why didn't you think to go get another engineering job? You're trained as an engineer.
Yeah, I was looking for a job.
Okay.
But it's not that easy to get a job.
Right. You can't just get a job after you've quit. Yeah.
And I couldn't just go back to my parents. I come from very dominant parents, and as an adult, for me, it does not work either, because I have made some decision that they will have never agree with, never. So I felt like I have to go and fix everything myself. So as I ordered my meal, I had a seat, and somehow the manager realized something was wrong with me. He came up to me and he said, no one will kick you out here. You can stay until 5 a.m. and the metro station nearby open at 5 a.m. So I got my meal. I was there eating my meal, looking through the window, and I could see the beautiful decoration of Christmas. And you know that happy spirit of Christmas? Somehow that spirit got in me. I was just so happy. Then at 5 a.m., I went to that metro station. During the day, I will go to the library, reading 1 or 2 books every day, sometimes no book. And one day I left the washroom, and as I was walking, I suddenly blacked out. To this day, I still can remember what happened, because for the first 3 days, I had very little to no sleep. It was new to me. How do I sleep? It was just not possible.
Right. You're homeless, yeah.
Yeah. So now I was very concerned about my health. I have to figure out a way to get some rest, right? So when I will go to that fast food restaurant, I will just have a seat, put both of my hands on the table, put my head on my hands, and sleep until 5 a.m. or until they kick me out. It was very, very embarrassing. until they kicked me out during the winter and I had nowhere to go. And
what about the HTC family? The HTC family didn't help you out?
There's no family. And there was no family. There was no family. It was all a story. And do not sleep in that position. All my body was hurting. It was awful.
Yeah.
And on the 25th of December, Christmas, I had almost nothing to eat because I had no money left. On New Year, I had nothing, absolutely nothing to eat. Nowhere to go. All the places were closed. It was so cold that actually my tooth broke into my mouth. That's how cold it was. It was very cold. And I thought it could get any worse.
Right. Yeah, that's what I would think too.
At some point, I was walking and I started feeling some pain in my feet. As soon as I could, I removed my shoes, removed my socks, and realized actually my feet were bleeding because of the cold. It's just, this is Canada. It was very cold. My feet were bleeding. And now I thought this was it. If I cannot even walk, I have nothing left. How do I get myself out of this situation? And that was the place I was in for 4 months until, and during all this time, they were going after me, which is very important to say.
Who was going after you?
Dan Lok and his people. So people understand exactly what kind of person he is. Because I was speaking out, saying the program does not work. It just does not work. And they were going after some of these people who are speaking out. Many people, they were going after people.
Dan Lok doesn't like that. Yeah, he doesn't like when people talk about him. He really doesn't like it. What did he do to you?
They were just trying to like on LinkedIn, anytime I will make, for example, a connection with people, trying to sell some business coaching type of thing. They were just trying to destroy everything I was working on. And even sending some people over me just to say some bad things about me.
It's kind of what he did to Kayvon, didn't he? It's kind of
you know the story.
Oh, yeah.
He did exactly the same to Kayvon until Kayvon stopped working for him. And a true leader should listen and just try to fix, to adjust. But he didn't like that.
Sure.
He didn't like that.
So he's trying to sabotage you professionally. That's what you allege. And your feet are bleeding. You're homeless. Does he know you're homeless?
Yes.
Dan Lok knew you were homeless during this thing. And
Yes.
his course, you're saying, is what made you homeless.
Yes. And he was still going after me.
Oh, my God.
And all of that happened just because I made that decision to go through his program. That one decision.
So you were crushing it. Let's paint the picture of where you were before. You're a civil engineer.
Working for the government.
Working for the government, making a tidy little living, nice living, have a nice car. You go join Dan Lok's course. Within how many months are you at a point where you just can't afford rent anymore?
9 months.
So it's a 9-month kind of process from leaving your job or from leaving, starting the course, his courses?
From starting the course.
Okay. So how did he make that $20,000 from you? Because from what I understand, high ticket closers, $2,500.
Yes.
What else? How much is closers in black? Probably is pretty expensive because you got to fly, you got to rent a hotel.
Yes.
And then the other one, what is it? Inner Circle? How much is that?
$200 a month.
A month. Okay. Yeah.
To be part of Inner Circle.
Okay.
And some people even lost more money than me.
I have no doubt. I've heard that when he was rolling out High Ticket Millionaire, people were putting themselves in debt to join. Is that true?
I did the same.
Wait, you went in debt for High Ticket? I thought you said you didn't join High Ticket Millionaire.
No, like the entire thing. At some point, I had to borrow some money. I borrowed some money at some point. The entire thing.
Oh, I see. During the process
Yes.
of engaging with
Yes.
Dan Lok, you had to borrow money at some point. How much?
Yes.
How much did you borrow?
$10K.
Whoa.
Like the vast majority of people going through that program borrowed some money. They were even helping people borrow some money so they can afford their program. Can you imagine? They were giving people ideas of how to borrow some money, where to get some money so they can afford the program, which was a scam to start with.
I don't even understand how he has that many upsells. Because it's
yes, he had like so many upsells, downsells, cross sells, subscription. It was awful. But it is very important that I say the following. It was also my fault for not making the right decision. I should have thought about it more, do some research maybe, so I could make the right decision.
How long has it been since you kind of got your stuff back together?
6 months, 7.
6 months. So it's fresh. The wound is fresh.
Yes.
I just can't get past the fact that Dan Lok was going after you while your feet are bleeding because you're broke, you have no roof over your head, and he's still going after you.
Yes.
Why would someone do
is.
that? That's who he is. What do you mean by that?
Like he always say, you have to do everything to protect your reputation. But something that he maybe needs to understand is that in the first place, you have to watch your character as a person. It is your responsibility to be a good person, so you have a good reputation.
Yeah.
It is not about other people to cover your mistake and your bad character. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
So that's the story, and I hope people learn something from that, and that they make a better decision than I did. I have learned my lessons. It cost me a lot, but I learned them.
I really appreciate you coming on, Gil. Thank you. I know even doing this program is a risk to yourself because I know Dan Lok and you know Dan Lok and we know how he is. So thank you for having the courage to speak out about this man and what his course did to you, because as you know, he's got 2 million subscribers. He's got tons of people joining every day. And I think you're right. I'm not sure that they know necessarily what they're getting themselves into. So hopefully your testimonial about the true cost and experience of Dan's course will help people make a more informed decision. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.